Hello, I'm FBX Toycat, and welcome back to the video. So one of the most confusing comments that I get a fair amount on this YouTube channel is people assuming that I am American, both in the more innocent way of saying, hey Toycat, where about in America are you from, but also in the less innocent way, where people try to use it as like a backhanded compliment of like, oh, this is pretty good for an American, and it's like, whoa there, what's this all about? You can't just decide that I'm something and then use that to criticize me. That's not okay, at least not in my opinion. So to set this one straight, I decided to do a DNA test, and as you can see, the DNA report came back, and I am 77.5% European, mostly British and Irish, but it's kind of all over the place. I'm slightly South Asian. Fun fact, I have an Asian grandmother, now you know. But also, I am 1.8% East Asian and Native American. That's right, I have slightly Native American DNA. That means I'm slightly American, and that means that I can do the most American things imaginable to channel my inner American. To get back to my roots, what I'm going to do is the most American things imaginable, and you know what the most American thing you can do is? It's invading a foreign power and giving them all the freedom they want. America! So that's what we're doing in today's video. We're going to be invading lots of Minecraft worlds, and we're going to be giving them our freedom because that's how we roll here. So let's jump into this one. So in case you are curious as to how we're doing this one, a lot of people invite me to their Minecraft realms, just like this, because they want me to check out their world at any various time, and this means that I can check out their Minecraft world even when they're not online, and we're going to be doing that while we do this. So that's what we're doing today. Let's load up any world that has Toycat in the name, with a great example of this being Llamagrad. So let's load into Llamagrad and let's see what it is, and let's see if maybe we can help the world out by giving it our freedom. So immediately as I load into this world, I see that it's not looking so great. It looks like it's been exploded a few times already. There's only really a cobblestone house here with a random birch fence on top. And oh, there's a horse in here, and maybe this is just like a temporary base for me to land in for a bit while I go out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna borrow the horse. We're gonna, because we're the United States, I'm great. What I can just do is I can requisition the horse, temporarily use said horse. Oh, I can't get out of here. Is there maybe an exit for the horse? It'd be pretty stupid not to have an exit for the horse, but apparently that's what's going on here. But we're going to temporarily use the horse, which you can't go into portals with, by the way. We're going to use the horse as just a way to explore the world, and we'll probably give it back when we're done. Because I'm great, I'm friendly, and I'm so generous like that, that I might even give things back that I take from people when I'm done with them. That's just how nice and polite your boy Toycat and/or the United States of America is sometimes. Okay, some bad news. I might have fallen in lava and killed the horse, which was not my fault. That was the poor directions fault. So, conclusion, this place isn't a very good realm. It's just got some cobblestone and some explosions that spawn. And you know what? I don't think it needs freedom. I think this world is doing just great by itself. I mean, it's totally not just because there's no natural resources I can take myself. It's totally not that. It's that I just don't think there's any more freedom needed here. This place is already so great that I just couldn't help it anymore. And we're totally not going to another world because it's awful. We're going because it's so great that we can just help out other people instead. Oh, wait, there's a house just over there. Oh. Okay, I've got some really bad news here. As it turns out, Llamagrad is true to the name, and it's got a little Soviet flag, or at least the best representation you can do in 3x3 of a Soviet flag, which means this is actually a communist Minecraft world. That's right, it is not abiding to the true freedom values of the United States. And you know what that means? I mean, it's already been bombed by something, it seems already. But you know what that means for me? That means I'm gonna have to rummage through some chests and desperately try and find any gunpowder we can, because you know what we've got to do? There's only one way to fix worlds that don't have enough freedom. And that one way does happen to involve a lot of TNT, because you know what we've got to do? We've got to fix this problem the best way we know how. And you know what the best way we know how is? It's heavy explosives. So let's just place our... Oh, we've probably got to get out of the way of this. So let's just finish the job that, God already started, right? Like, there wouldn't already be explosions in here if it wasn't okay to make more of them. So, as you can see, just like that, we've done a great job. We have thwarted communism, and therefore we have spread freedom to more parts of the world. You might question how this one thing by itself has really done any good, and in response to your question, I would say, well, you're clearly missing the point on that one. Also, kind of a key part of this. But because of the fact that obviously I don't want it to be seen as like, that I did this. I don't want the guy thinking, wow, I invite Toycat to my realm and suddenly there's explosions everywhere, communism is thwarted. What you gotta do instead is you place a banner of, something else like, oh, look, it was the yellow stripe guys. And, that's something that's really great because now he thinks they did it and not me. Because the US would certainly never ever, bomb something and damage something and then claim a foreign power did it. Especially not the US, Maine and Spain. And especially not this yellow flag situation over here. So there we go. Just like that, we have now spread freedom to the communist parts of the world. But what about the rest of it? There are other parts of the world that I'm sure need our help. So this next world is one I don't really know anything about. It has a pretty much default name, so we probably won't be too interested in it. Again, there's no natural resources for me here, so why would I take too much of an interest? So we're mostly just going to be checking it out, seeing what's going on, and then maybe taking a very brief exit, you know, just sending a friendship mission over and letting them know that you're not Toycat and / all the United States is friends of you. You don't have to fear for your life just yet. So all they have, by the way, is like this chest that spawned with 4 bits of cobblestone stairs. Again, lack of natural resources is a real impediment. I think they must have been going for achievements maybe based on this. So there wasn't anything up there, by the way. There wasn't even a slime block so they could get the achievement. Honestly, this place seems to just be a confusing mishmash that someone loaded up, played 10 minutes on, tried to make something interesting, and didn't really achieve a whole bunch. So I know what you're thinking, like, wow, Toycat, you could really use your abilities here and maybe help out in some way. But again, we're role-playing as the United States, so just because we could help out, you know, doesn't benefit us, so we're not going to. That's going to offend some people, actually, isn't it? But, you know, we're going to bounce out of here, and we're going to slide into the next world that might need some more, you know, freedom, some liberating, some help. So let's load up the next one. And our next world we're going to be checking out is apparently Electro City. So this one was called Fried Rice, which confused me more than a little bit. But, I mean, it's meant to be a fun Electro map, I'm assuming. I really have no clue what to expect from any of this. So let's go to the Electro store where we can get an Electro and fireworks. Again, the buttons, presumably, and the fact that it's giving them to me via commands does tell us for a fact that we are, in fact, playing on a creative world. But yeah, let's give this a whirl. Let's see what it's like to fly around Electro City. You've got to equip your Electro first, though. Oh, so it's like it's a world designed to be explored by Electro, maybe? Or maybe that's just so I can look around the world? I'm not sure, but I really love the way... Oh, look at these, I love these scaffolding as like a way to get to and from each house. But I think this is a really interesting idea that not enough people use. A lot of people build the same house everywhere and just flatten the land. But like taking advantage of the landscape and... Wow, is that like some shader stuff? But taking advantage of the landscape and using it to make some really amazing stuff, that's what it should be all about. That's what your goal kind of should be. Oh, this one literally already has US flags on it, I think. I tried to break one and take it with me, but tile drops is turned off. And that kind of ruins a lot of my goals when it comes to, like, what am I going to do here? But we're going to try and find, in a chest somewhere, more of these US flag-looking things, because I have a really great idea. Okay, I found a command block in a chest, which means as long as command blocks are turned on, I should be able to use it to do various things and get myself one of those banners. So let's go see if this works. Oh, I can't place blocks. No. Okay. Plan is ruined. I guess I'm in visitor mode right now. All I can do is fly around. And break blocks. Yeah, for some reason I can break blocks, but I can't place them. And there's no tile drops. That seems like a bit of a weird oversight. But anyway, one of the things that I don't think enough people do is work with the landscape they're given and really use that to make some beautiful stuff. Minecraft is a game with so much beautiful scenery, and when you just flatten it all, that is a fun challenge. It's something you should always, you know, set yourself out a challenge to do. But working with the environment you're given is how you make some of the most beautiful builds that fit in to what is already a beautiful world, you know? Like, rather than just doing a build that's nice or having a Minecraft world that's nice, using the two things together is something that isn't really done enough and probably should be. Stuff like this nether portal right here, using the landscape, or maybe even, like, he changed it right here. They changed it, I should say. But you can see how, like, that's a really crazy nice thing to do. Again, it's clever. All you have to do is place an obsidian portal through there. And, like, just loads of stuff like this. It's a really good way to use your environment to make a nice looking Minecraft build. And yeah, so here's a good example of a Minecraft build. Sadly, what I was going to do, it was going to be a great joke. I was going to take a US flag and I was going to be like, okay, we'll use the World War II tactics from America, and we'll wait until something's mostly done, and then we'll throw our flag on at the end, and then we'll claim it was us that did the work. It was going to be great. It was going to be hilarious. You're going to laugh and / or be offended if you're the 50% of my viewers who are from the United States of America. But sadly, that is not a thing we can do today. Instead, what we'll just do is we'll say, actually, some pretty nice Minecraft builds, some really cool stuff to see, and a really nice way to show it off. And as you can see, Fortnite with... Oh, this is not what I expected. Oh god, okay. So, you know, this is the part of the world where, you know, I'm going to take back everything I just said. I don't want my flags on this world anyway, as it turns out. I definitely do not. There's just a sign here that says ovaries. Like, what do I take from that, you know? What is that meant to be? Is that anything? I don't honestly know. This is the weirdest world I've been in quite some time. So I'm going to bounce out of here and check out the next world. So this next place is called Topia. It's like Zootopia, but with like pool cues instead, maybe. And there's some Qtopian apartments I'm going to start with, and if I need something, I have to pay for it. Oh, I'm in creative. Oops, I am very sorry. I did not realize. So anyway, this is Topia, assuming I don't break any more things. And yeah, it's a creative world, as I can assume from the fact that I'm in creative. And it looks pretty nice so far. Look, there's even a little duck. Chicken, I guess that would be. I mean, when a chicken's in water, it becomes a duck. That's well-known science. But looking around right here, you can see how, like, oh yeah, we've got a nice little school. I assume by the fact that there's a bell there. Am I right? Qtopian public school. So this is maybe a world where they're just trying to build a nice little city on an island. A really cool island, actually. Again, one of the things that because, you know, I show off a lot of seeds, but also just in general, when I, you know, like to start a new Minecraft world, which is very rarely, I try to get a nice, like, environment to build on, and having something cool like an island to make a huge island out of, like, again, taking advantage of your Minecraft world, using it to its best abilities. Again, when they have a gap, they make an underwater tunnel. There's just cool things like that you can do that I think are underappreciated. So I like the world as a general thing, but let's look more specifically at stuff like this. Oh, let's look more specifically at stuff like inside some of these, like the crafting place. Oh, interesting. So this is like a world where you've got to pay $1 to use the crafting table, $2 to use the anvil, $2.50 to use the furnace. So, you know, they've got capitalism already. They have nailed that one down, you know, charging you things that... You know, charging you for things that you kind of essentially need. That is top-notch stuff. I am very much on board with what's going on here. Then we've got ourselves this nice little parking lot, which to me looks more like it's an armory or something. Ask about our prices. So, if there's no person here, then you just have to park illegally, I guess. Actually, you know, there is a real issue of, like, it said it was a parking lot, but this is definitely not parking. This is definitely the opposite of parking, I would say. And if you want to be a police officer, you have to pay $100 for your armor. Although, it's free if you're a police force. Honestly, you know, this is beautiful. I'm loving the capitalism in this world. It is everything that I need in a Minecraft world. But let's go check out the rest. So they have this little central area where you can actually buy houses if you want to. So we've got this house just over here, which is for sale for $250. We've got this house, which someone has been neglecting. Looks a little bit Goosebumps, right? And then we got a house over here, a house over here. Presumably they're sold to people. Although, I don't know, it feels a bit sad living here, given that you're not allowed to use the crafting table unless you pay for that. Unless you're allowed a crafting table in your house. Oh, you are allowed a crafting table in your house. Think about the savings you can make on that. So yeah, just in general, when you buy a house, you have the rights to a crafting table, to a furnace, and to... Really, it's just a way to save on the rent that you pay every time using that furnace. Kind of like how owning a washing machine means you don't have to go to the laundromat, maybe. I'm not even entirely sure. This is a bit of a weird world, but you know what? I mostly like it. But before we go, there's one last thing we need to do. So just a little bit of a banner tutorial right here for you. All you want to do is take a red banner, add some white, add some little blue in just the corner like that. And you can make yourself an American flag, or at least something that looks like it, in just a couple of crafts. And having an American flag is going to be handy because you know what we're going to do? We like a place, so we're just going to cover it very slowly, but very surely with American flags. This is very clearly American stuff right here because that's just something you've got to do. Like, you know what? We like this thing, so I'm just going to claim credit for all of it. And look how American and wonderful everything is right now. Like, wow, look at this thrifter's place. Sure would be nicer if it had an American flag on it. Look at this lovely house right here. Sure would be nicer. Look at this, wait, I found something weird. Like, it's a cat temple. Look, they've got little cat banners. Wouldn't it be nice if instead of a cat they were worshipping, instead it was the American flag? It sure would be. Oh, that's why it's called Qtopia. The cat runs the world, I guess. Huh. Looks like we learned something about the culture while spreading ours. So, there you go. Look at that. That's just proof that American imperialism is entirely okay, whereas when every other country does it, it's not. Fun fact of Toycat. Oh, this next world actually has people in it already. We've got Spoons UK and Kezgved Exgvema who are already in the world. So, this is a very bizarre thing, as you can see by the end portal at spawn. It's a half creative, half survival world with shulker boxes lining the spawn, which I guess they used so they could spam different blocks. I'm not sure what's going on here in the slightest. But yeah, we're going to check it out, and we're going to see if maybe it's a world that we should give some freedom to. So this world is actually pretty nice. I think we should just like give this one a nice normal tour, check it out, see all these trees and this nice pathway, and see the builds that have been made. You know, really give it a nice check out, really let them know that I'm friends with the owners. Yeah, that's a nice name, like, this is waiting for Toycat to join. And then we see a big flag of the German Empire, I think that is. I think maybe that's Egypt's flag. I'm honestly not even entirely sure. So, a little bit concerning. Maybe that's just the flag of the realm. Like, you know what? Black white, red with a yellow circle in the middle. Again, I think we're suspiciously close to Egypt's flag. Oh, their national motto is equality, pride, war? I guess red always means, you know, the blood of those who fought for the freedom or whatever. And I guess in this case, war is just a nicer way to put that. Wait a minute, welcome to the Fiskars Socialist Republic. I'm getting, oh, Social Republic. Social's a lot like socialist though, so rather than assuming they're just really good friends, we're going to assume that this is some collectivized farming we've got going on right here. Oh, it actually totally is. This is totally collectivized farm. This is awful. This is a dangerous place. This is a colony world. Man, I have joined into something that I'm really not sure about right here. I thought I was going to play some Minecraft when I, you know, got into the game today, but it turns out we're playing our craft instead. And I am not sure how I feel about that. So, on the one hand, this might be a bit of a socialist country, but on the other hand, they've made me one of the elites, and I kind of like that. So, maybe we don't have to overthrow the place. We can just, you know, enjoy it and look at it and, you know, just appreciate what it naturally has going on for it. Like, oh, look at these flags over here. This is like a whole other country. This is actually a really interesting creative survival hybrid world of like, they took a super flat world and have made a few different places in it, which is interesting to say the least. Yeah, honestly, I like these guys. I can be friends with this. There's a lot of like cool builds just around the place in really slightly different ways. You know, they're all unfinished, but everyone has unfinished stuff over their Minecraft world, right? It's just a well-known thing that people have things that aren't finished because things take time to finish. If everything was finished, then there'd be nothing to do, right? That's the perpetual fun of Minecraft in some ways. But yeah, it's really interesting. Everything you look at has this weird layer to it. It looks a little bit Simsy in places, but it's a really cool world with a lot of stuff going on. However, okay, so I found something that really changes my mind on this entire place. As you can see, I found myself a bunch of oil found just in the corner over here. And you know what oil means? Oil means that we need to take that for ourselves. I mean, we need to give this place some more freedom because the people desperately need it. We need to come in here. We need to save the day. So you know what? I think I'm going to be liberating this place. Definitely not because of this recent discovery. Definitely because the place needs some liberating. So let's go in. Let's liberate it for the oil. I mean, for the people that live there's sakes, because that's what we are with the world police. So I think even though it would obviously be a terrible thing to invade this place, you know, you wouldn't want to go in there by yourself and, you know, hurt things that way. I think that bombing things from the sky is entirely justifiable. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to drop a bunch of explosive onto this place from the sky. We're going to go on a big bombing campaign. And the goal at the end here is to end up with the most humanly possible stuff. But yeah, as you can see, our bombing campaign is going quite well so far. I mean, we've got a lot of damage done. I think we've really helped free these people. As you can see, they're living much freer lives now that they don't have houses, infrastructure, anywhere really to live, and that their maps are entirely gone. Although they're floating, and somehow the bedrock got destroyed. Oh, it looks like we've been seeing some help, because why not, right? And now what you do at the end of this is, just as a quick little celebration, you take the most important bits, the bit that you know that everyone's really the gladdest about, and you cover it in your flag. You say that, look, we did this, go America, and as you can see, I am really showing that I am the greatest American citizen right now, right? See, Spoon00 UK gets it, but you British. See, exactly, that's my point. You should be very aware of that. I mean, you know, it should be clear that I'm playing as the United States. Maybe this video helps you in that way. But no, just as a quick little serious aside, because, you know, the joke is like, haha, we invaded a place because they had oil. That's the most common thing people say about Iraq. To this day, I see other Minecraft YouTubers be like, oh, everyone knows they went to Iraq for the oil, right? You know, that doesn't actually make sense on any level, because invading a country... I wish I lived in America. Well, now you kind of do. But invading a country, you know, that is selling something to you is not the best way to get them to continue selling the thing, which, by the way, most of American oil didn't come from Iraq at the time. And by the way, having a country be under serious threat is a bad thing. But also, it's worth noting... But it's also worth mentioning the fact that obviously not only did a tiny percent, less than 5% of America's oil even came from Iraq in the first place, but, you know, and it's also worth mentioning that they didn't just get the oil. Invading a country doesn't just give you access to a bunch of oil, but also, bear in mind, invading a country uses a huge amount of oil. There is so much, you know, the biggest reason that countries need oil for national defense is because of the fact that pretty much every military operation uses a huge ton of oil, and as you can imagine, invading a, you know, doing something which doesn't get you very much oil, if any, which it doesn't, and using a lot of oil to do it, doesn't make any sense. It's a terrible conspiracy theory, and it's like, like, you know, if you're gonna have your terrible conspiracy theories, at least make them make sense, you know? Like, that's all I ask you for. Like, oh yeah, the contrails are there because the government's mind controlling us. Well, why am I not mind controlled, you know? Like, have something that has something to it, and then, you know, maybe people will be on board your side. So yeah, just fun fact. The US didn't invade Iraq for the oil. They invaded it because of weird geopolitical interests, which mean the US has basically extended itself to every side of the globe. Even though it is a continent, you know, kind of separated by thousands of miles of ocean, the US has various interests and various conflicts, including in the Middle East, which is one of those situations that no one really understands in the West because of just how many different things are going on. So instead of claiming like, oh, I know everything, it's all about the oil man, maybe inform yourself about what it actually was about, or just say, I didn't really know about that one. I guess it was kind of complex, and I wish we weren't there because, you know, we went under false pretenses. There you go. Now you've got yourself an opinion, and it doesn't need to involve oil, although you can still blow up things and put American flags on them. That's still fine. And also, apparently, you can build walls and make things great again, according to this guy. So he says his time has come. Here goes. So just to preempt him, what I'm gonna do. Oh, he doesn't die from that. Oh, that's embarrassing. Well, fun fact, in Minecraft Bedrock, there is a floor below the world too. I think this is true in the end, but I didn't know it was true for the overworld as well. But apparently, you can't die in creative, even going below the world like this. You have to go into survival first, and then your stuff will disappear. So there you go. Fun fact with Soycat today. Extends beyond just the United States of America and the weird oil conspiracies, and into other stuff. So yeah, learn about why your country has interests on every part of the world, and then maybe lobby against those interests, rather than making up reasons and lobbying against pretend reasons, because I can do that, you know? The reason that I'm against frogs is because I think that the frogs are secretly, slowly trying to, you know, like slip chemicals in our drinks. You know, every single time that someone's, you know, like died, it's because frogs, and therefore I want to kill all the frogs. You know, that makes just as much sense as your arguments about the US. But anyway, we're going to move on from this to another place. Because this was the last world on the list, although it kind of just said Toycat as an addition. So maybe it's just a regular world that we should tour and check out. Like, oh, look at this, you know, what's it even called? Like, glazed terracotta. Looks really good, right? That's a good example of how to use patterns. Did you know, depending on how you place glazed terracotta, you can get this pattern or that pattern? Wow, fun facts with Toycat. But no, I hope you all enjoyed the fun facts today. Hope, if you are from the United States, that you found this to be fun as well. I know there's going to be some number of, you know, upset people just being like, oh, you didn't portray it in a very good light the whole way through the thing. That's like, well, that's, you know, the fun of making jokes, right? We made the jokes about the communism. We made the jokes about, I think we did the fascist video recently too. So I'm just going to use the time at the end of this video here to say thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you did all like it. I know there's going to be a bunch of comments from people saying like, oh, I didn't like that you saw it this way. But I hope if you did watch the whole thing, then you understand that, yeah, this was a fun joke. I made jokes about the British and how we invade the world and colonize it and just place our flag everywhere. And I made jokes about how the US, you know, plays the world police. So, you know, they're fun jokes. And I think it's always important to understand when it comes to memeing around about this stuff that, yeah, they're funny jokes that represent the public opinion. They're not universal truths like, oh, well, I mean, if you make a joke about the US invading someone with oil, it must be true. Or like, oh, if they make a joke about the US criticizing colonies while having its own, it must be true, which, although has some truth to it, it's always a bit more nuanced. And it's always, I recommend, if you want to have a view on any huge issue like that, it's important to be informed so you can understand the complexities and actually have a decent conversation, because those are the things that actually help things improve in the future. So just keep that in mind, that when it comes to both the US, you know, and the jokes we made, they're like, yeah, mostly jokes, but look into it if you want to learn more. And also, when it comes to the worlds we destroyed a little bit, because people did just invite me, not knowing that I was going to maybe roleplay America a little bit today and channel my 1.8% Native American. But, you know, basically, I want to just clarify that although these were real realms that I did really grief in some ways, it's worth mentioning that on realms, there is a reset feature. So if people don't like it, they can immediately roll back to the previous realm. And most people are going to be uploading their worlds to a realm. So it's a copy that I was playing on. I mostly just grief copies is what I'm saying. And even if I didn't grief a copy, I grief the real thing. People can reset it, so don't worry. I really don't like griefing in Minecraft worlds, and I always make sure that there's a way to undo what I've done. I'm not the guy who's like, oh, it's funny to destroy someone else's hard work. No, it's funny to, you know, kind of destroy it, but also know that you haven't really. At least that's my take on things. Maybe it's your take on things too. Let me know in the comments. Okay, goodbye now.